Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Wife finally confessed of cheating with her coworker 11 years ago when we are still live-in partners with a 2-year-old son. Reconciliation. It happened 11 years ago when I was still 27 and she is about 30. We've been together that time for 8 years as live-in partners. And we have a son who was 2 years old at that time. Now I'm 38M, and my now wife is already 41F. We've been together 19 years, married for 11 years. We have 2 more kids now, 8M and the youngest is 6F. English is not my first language, so please bear with me. First 8 years living together, we have our ups and downs but still stick and fight for each other. We really have no major problems in our relationship and we were very close. Before I met her, I came from a 4-year relationship and my ex cheated on me. That's why it's hard for me to trust fully again. Interestingly enough, she also had a boyfriend for 1 month when we met. They didn't really have the chance to be together since she left to work in my area right after she accepted him. She said there was really no connection between them. I find it interesting because she accepted me while still not ending it with him. Eventually she went back to that place and ended it with him because of me. It's really hard for me to trust her, but eventually I gave it all to her, especially when we are already living together and have a child. I was really confident that there was nothing to worry about her loyalty since she is busy taking care of our child and she is a very caring partner and mother. The problem started when she decided to work again. I stopped working that time to finish my last year in college. We decided to have my mother take care of our kid while she works and I study. My mother is living in another area which is a little far. So when we took our son to her, it took us a day to travel to her place. We stayed for a month with my mother and went back together. Everything was good between us. She works while I study. And after 6 months we decided to get our son back. This time I will get my son alone since my partner is already working. I stayed there for 3 weeks before coming back now with my son with me. My partner was left alone in our apartment the whole time. During those times, we are already having some issues with her work because her workmates like to go out and have a drink after work sometimes. This leads to fights between me and her because she became entitled and she is already very stubborn. I specifically ask her to avoid his kinds of activities, but she always says that she is with friends and also her cousins are with them so she is safe. Some of her cousins are also her workmates. During the time I am away, we are constantly calling and texting each other daily. So there is nothing unusual really to think about. When me and my son got back, I noticed she was more sweet and a little more active in bed than usual. But I thought she just missed me for the 3 weeks I am away, so I am happy to give it to her. After a month I heard her phone text message and out of curiosity I opened the message. I saw that it was from someone from her work, and she texted back saying, "Stop texting me here, my live-in partner might read it." This was the time my knees shook, my chest felt like there was a hole, it's hard to breathe. She hurriedly came and tried to get the phone but I took it out of her reach. I asked who the F is this guy she is texting about me. She said he is nothing and she needs to go to her sister's house to have her hair done for the company Christmas party event scheduled that evening. I told her she can't take her phone. When she left, I replied back to the number, and received a reply as well. Surprisingly it is the partner of the guy my partner is texting. Apparently the guy left his phone open as well. She told me that her partner and my partner might be having an affair at work. She has been suspecting him for a while now and the text messages I sent to him that morning proves some of her suspicion. I told her if it's okay for me to meet her in person for me to read the text messages from my wife myself and she agreed. I took my son to my partner's sister's house, she is also there having her hair done with her sister. I told her I am meeting someone and she has some explaining to do when I get back. Finally I met her AP girlfriend and she let me read all the text messages between my partner and her AP. His girlfriend also told me that there was a particular night that he did not come home, and somebody saw him with my partner drinking with friends and having a great time together dancing. She said they looked like more than friends that night. They are always together and they disappear later. This was the hardest blow on me. I was not home during that time. Within the 3 weeks I was away with my son in my mother's place. I was really shocked. I can't think straight. The AP girlfriend said she confronted my partner at work, but she said nothing happened that night and that she was just friends. She just asked him for a ride home because she couldn't find a cab that time. She didn't believe it, of course, and so am I. After that I thanked her and apologized about what happened. I went home and confronted my partner that evening after she came back from their company Christmas party. It was a very emotional time. I asked her to tell me the truth, but she just told me nothing happened that night. I was so hurt and dismayed that she got involved in this kind of mess. I was really furious and already thinking of leaving that time. But for some reason we didn't separate, and my son is the main reason for it. She keeps on telling me nothing happened to them that night and the guy just dropped her off at our gate and she made him leave right away. In my heart I know there is more to it, but I decided to accept it and moved on. I forced my mind to forget about it and get it completely out of my mind. I got sick that time, so I needed her at my side to take care of me. She still stayed in her work for another year and finally resigned. She told me she never talked to him again at work after that event and never went near him again even before our confrontation. And just completely ignored him at work. Somehow I believed her since I have access to all her devices during that time, and she no longer goes out to drink with her workmates after work. After 2 years I heard that the guy died due to a motorcycle accident, and my partner didn't show anything that told me is affected by the news or something. So finally we are already moved on, and she got pregnant again with our second son. We got married that year and everything is normal again. Sometimes when we fight I bring the issue back with her now dead AP to get the upper hand, but she is always defensive and tells me to let the man rest in peace. After a year she got pregnant again with our youngest. Everything was running normal until almost a month ago we had a fight and I brought the topic again to her. She got really mad and told me when will I stop asking her about it. I just felt there was something that day, that's why I pushed it a little further. I told her that somebody saw them arrive at our apartment that night and he went inside with her and his motorcycle parked there till morning. I assumed this, nobody really told me about it. I just told her a lie to relate it to what she told me that night when he dropped him off at our gate and left right away. I did not share this information with her before. I noticed she was taken aback by this and asked me right away who is the person who told me that and why only now she found out about it. I lied again and told her he knows me, but she did not know him. He was a new friend in the neighborhood. Then she got defensive again, and told me yes, she let him inside but only to drink because he asked for a glass of water. Noticing the changes in her story I know I got her now. Then I asked her how long she stayed, she said just a couple of minutes. Then I told her she was lying. My friend told me he stayed until morning. I reiterated that the motorcycle was parked until morning. Now she is hyperventilating. I asked her again, did they do it that night? She said no. She confessed they kissed and some fondling while embracing because she is drunk, but that's it. I asked again if they did it and she told me he tried to ask for it but she refused because she thought about me. She was about to cry telling me nothing really happened, but I am not satisfied with that. We were going in circles and she just kept on denying it. Then I got an idea. I told her okay, I believe her now. Whatever she's telling me that nothing happened, I will accept it. But I told her here I am at my weakest in front of you. You can look at me straight in my eyes and swear that what you are saying is true and I accept it and believe you. But if you are still lying, I am the most miserable man in the world. God knows my pain and God knows how you lied to me. If you still have a small amount of respect and love for your husband, you will be hurt too to just lie again in front of his face in his most vulnerable state. I teared a little and she looked me straight in the eyes. I added that if there is still anything to confess, I might as well do it now. I told her I will forgive her if she says sorry for what she did. I created a safe deal for her that I am ready to forgive her if she just laid it all out and confessed it that night. Then she cried and finally confessed that they did it. She allowed him to do it to her on our sofa. I asked how long they did it. She told me only about 3 to 5 minutes. He did not finish because when she realized what was happening and came back to her senses, she kicked him to get off and she cried and told him bad things. He asked what happened and she just kept on blaming him. She realized that what she did was very wrong and told him, I am going to get very upset and hurt if I found out. He asked her to at least let him finish because he might have pain if he didn't finish, but she already refused and asked him to leave. She told me he left right away and she cried and had the longest shower in her life. She felt really dirty and she is about to lose her mind. She said he took advantage of her even if she refused at first by kissing her and fondling her. He told her, I am far away and no one will know if no one will tell, and he will not make her pregnant. He became more aggressive towards her and she felt fear what he will do if she still refused. She didn't know what made her give in, but she just felt to let him do it to get it over with, and she shut him out of her mind and think of me. She locked her mind on me while he started using her. She said she didn't feel anything when he was doing it because he was really small and uncircumcised. And also she felt numb due to alcohol. That woke me a little. She just told me she shuts him off and thinks about me all the time, but when she realized he is not finished due to alcohol, I guess, she kicked him off, then that's it. I was shocked hearing all these details coming from her. My world turned upside down. But I still talked to her and told her I will keep my promise to forgive her. Then we decided to stop our conversation and proceed to bed. I told her not to worry, but my head was spinning that time. She told me she fears that her confession changed the way I looked at her and I will leave her. I answered, don't worry about anything right now, we will face this step by step. But my mind is about to explode. She then proceeded to arouse me and we did it that night, but she is the only one who did all the work. I didn't sleep well that night. After I decided to get more details about what happened that night. But she stuck to her original story that he didn't finish and said sorry again for what she did, and she is willing to do anything for me to forgive her and not leave her. She said she has also been suffering all those years she lied to me about it. She developed anxiety because of it and got depressed because it is eating her inside. She just told me the reason she lied for 11 years is because she doesn't want to hurt me and she doesn't want our family to be destroyed because our kids will suffer the most. She knows how she disrespected and destroyed my trust when she let him in our place and did what they did, and she regretted every moment of it, and it was just a mistake. She didn't plan it and he just took advantage of her weakness that night. She told me she didn't love him and it was just a pure mistake that night. She even told me she wants to tell her sister about it and wants to know if she can report him because she felt scared and forced, but decided not to proceed because of fear if I found out. I think about all she said, but I no longer believe all of them. I asked her if it's impossible that she doesn't have any feelings for him. She told me they are always together at work due to their task, and he showed her interest and always gave her food and asked if she had already eaten. She confessed that maybe she has a little feelings for him, but not that she already loves him. She just likes him a little, she thinks, because of the attention, and that's it. I asked her if she felt attracted to him and she said no. She just likes the company he provides and the attention. She did not love him at all. After almost a month since D-Day, we are doing okay for the kids and we decided to keep things the same. But I told her I am still deciding what will happen and I still haven't forgiven her. Yes, I thought when I said to her I would forgive her if she confessed, but I ate my words. I told her I am only human and I thought it would be that easy, but I realized I can't forgive her yet. We had a sharing therapy every night before sleeping where we gave each other time to speak and share our thoughts without the other interrupting or commenting. The other job is just listening the whole time and sleeping after. Then it's the other turn to share, reflect about the thoughts about what the partner shared the previous night. The absolute rule is to be completely honest about it and share what you feel. This helps a lot because I asked her to give me a timeline about them and I just listened. She shared all the things she can remember, the lunch dates, the conversations, the things he shared to her and all. She even shared that he asked her to leave me and be with him. I also shared what I think about the things she shared and how I feel about it. This helped me somehow because there are some details that were uncovered as well through our sharing that were not shared during D-Day. I am experiencing deep hurt episodes where I am feeling very angry and my mind is stocking the details she shared that night. But I am also relieved that it brought light to the things that happened that night. I no longer imagine things and I already know the details. I made sure she shows all of it when I experience a deep hurt episode and she is very supportive. I am now starting to accept her little by little. She agreed to all my conditions and followed all the things I wanted to do to make things better between us. I thought her pride and ego would be in the way but she endured it. She said the only thing she will not be able to take is when I will find another woman and have feelings with her. Right now there are still ups and downs, but I no longer mind staying longer with her. I learned to look at her again but the pain still comes when I think about what he did to her that night. Is this normal? Even if AP is already dead a long time ago, I still feel jealous and hurt because of him? It still hurts when I watch videos and see the position that is similar to what my wife and her AP did that night. Is there still a chance for me to fully forgive her eventually? For all the things she did, does she still deserve a second chance? Thank you. I'll appreciate all your comments and thoughts. Wait, so she gets a message that causes her to tell the AP not to text her at home because you might see it. But then in effect he tries to have drunken sex with her? That makes no sense. I believe she is gaslighting you. I don't believe for a second that your and the AP's belief that they were having an affair was wrong. I think they were. Or at least she was flirting. I hope it's true because otherwise you are another example that P.T. Barnum said, there's one born every minute. I agree. I think she's still lying to you and you don't have the full picture to the extent of her infidelity. I can't wrap my head around the fact that she lied to your face every single day about her cheating by keeping it from you and she's still lying now to you. Thank you for your comment. I wasn't able to recall his exact message, but I am assuming that since my wife is already avoiding him at that time, my guess is that he is trying to ask her to be with him possibly that night during their company Christmas party. I don't know, but that didn't happen, I guess because she came home early with her sister that night and did not finish that party. Yes, it feels like a sucker if you've been cheated by your trusted wife. When she finally told you what happened, he only lasted 5 minutes and was uncircumcised and small and didn't even finish. So, what she really meant was, he lasted 2 hours, 3 times in a row, he had a giant circumcised peen, and he finished inside her multiple times. And then she was pregnant shortly after that? Bro, I bet that child around that time isn't even yours. Yes, possibly. Her story is full of holes and things don't add up. There was intent to cheat and it's very obvious. With her lover being dead and her having 11 years to get rid of all possible evidence, you only have the choice to either believe her with what she says or not to. Thing I wonder about is, what happened before she took him home? I bet that it wasn't that they had a wild night and at the end of it she decided to bring him home. There was stuff already happening before emotionally and probably physically as well. The girlfriend of the dude told you that somebody saw the two together and it looked like they were more than friends. Since I doubt that a third person was with them at your house, that must have happened somewhere else before that night. Last but not least, do you really think that a dude who is in a relationship, that has no emotional connection to your now wife and only had one time unsuccessful sex with her where he even had to beg for it, that he would ask your wife to leave you for him? That is a question that a lover asks when the affair is intense and passionate and not when there never was a real affair or only an attempt to have bad sex. Has she told you whether they used a condom back then or did she not even care about your health and whether she would give you a STD? And now the thing that makes the whole this was only a one-time thing unbelievable for me. 1 month after you came back and that all happened, that is 4 weeks or 28 days, she was still in contact with him. And she wasn't in any kind of contact with him. Think about the message you saw. Stop texting me here, my partner might read it. 1 month after she had the worst sexual experience of her life, where she even entertained the idea to report the guy to the police, they are still in contact. He wrote her something, and what did she reply? If her story was true, then I would have expected a reply like, "Stop contacting me, I don't want to hear from you ever again, leave me alone," or that she simply blocked him. But she replied to him, "Stop texting me here, my partner might read it." She wanted him to text her, wanted to stay in contact with the person that she thought about to report to the police, just not on the line that you might discover. You will never know the full truth, only she knows that. But the story that she tells you isn't making any kind of sense. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.